One Piece anime is back, and I think, and to start this review, I actually want to take a moment to talk about the anime's return in itself. Which, right out of the gate, I want to make it clear, I did love this episode. Like, this episode was actually kind of fucking awesome as a returning episode. But when I heard the news that Toei had finally gotten like all their servers back up and running, everything was A-okay in order for them to start production again. Just in general, the hiatus on production had been lifted. I was, for the most part, excited. I mean, the latest episode of Dragon Quest, I think most people can agree was amazing. But when it came to One Piece, the return of the One Piece anime specifically, my immediate reaction was a little bit different. Which is, don't get me wrong, I was excited to have the One Piece anime return, but I did have this lingering question in the back of my head and I think it's a common question I think a lot of us probably had, which is, should Toei have delayed One Piece specifically for a little bit longer? Now, and I'm not talking extended, and I'm not talking like a severe extended length period of time. So don't get it twisted. For better or worse, One Piece is Toei's cash cow, and I had no actual belief or feeling that they were going to delay it for any longer than they could. Like One Piece being their cash cow, they would want to start production almost immediately after they got everything back in order. So, and as soon as possible. But it's one of those things as well where I can't help but feel like Toei, it was like the from Toei almost made a mistake in returning this early, and should have made an active attempt in order to delay One Piece for a little bit longer. And I'm not talking necessarily saying an unrealistic amount of time, like halt production until the end of the year. But it's just one of those what-if situations where I'm wondering how much of a difference would there be had Toei just waited at least two or pretty much 3 more months before returning to One Piece. And granted, a lot of what I'm saying greatly depends on how far into production this episode was before the hack happened. Its completion stage and how much Toei was able to recover. But part of me can't help but think of that what if scenario, and for however little it's worth, how much holding off on just a couple more months would have helped that extra little bit more. I don't know. It's just one of those kind of scenarios where I'm just kind of wondering in the back of my head, would just delaying One Piece a little bit more just kind of help with, I don't know, just animation, pacing, and any kind of little thing, I guess, in my head. Now, this episode itself was definitely was still great on its own, like I said, and it was definitely enough of a little bit of a taste of what's to come, because it did adapt the beginning portion of Chapter 1000, and if the preview for next episode is anything to go off of, we're going full on into what we're going full on bananas bonkers into what everyone's been hyping up, which is Roof Piece, the true beginning of Kaido versus Luffy and Big Mom. And like I said, that preview is something special. If next week's episode is gonna be bonkers, if that preview is anything to go off of. Art and animation in that preview looked already kind of amazing, and yeah, it's got me. And it took a while, but we're finally here, and I kind of want it now, honestly. With that said, majority of the episode from there was basically just kind of a flashback of Marco remembering the years aboard Whitebeard's ship with Ace, and honestly, I do like kind of getting to see those moments in time from a different perspective, and in the case of Marco, someone who could, in large part, be considered an observer, but at the same time, you can definitely see just in that short flashback that we saw, Marco we got to see a lot more of the genuine bond he had with Ace, and I think that is the takeaway more than anything else, is getting to see how deep Marco's bond with Ace was. And honestly, I think this is something the anime did do a little bit better than the manga, because I don't believe the manga went into as much detail as the anime with that particular like portion. So it did help to kind of help us to connect with just how much Ace was a key relationship in Marco's life. And for however small it was, also nice to see this also from Izo's perspective as well, given not only that he and Ace do basically have connections to Wano, their own connections to Wano, but that we also get to see just the kind of unspoken burdens Ace was shouldering even after becoming the second division commander, like replacing Odin, yet ultimately unable to keep the promises he made, forcing the burden onto like Luffy and Marco, even if they're more than willing to carry it. And honestly, this is one of those, like, just getting this little flashback also just shone a new light on how Ace reacted to Teach killing Thatch, and how, like, one thing more than anything else, I think that the kind of perspective this episode had given to Ace is that it makes you wonder if Ace had just stopped for just a moment of trying to carry the weight of the world on his shoulders, how much would his ultimate fate have changed? Like, would he still have ultimately died back there, or if he just took the time to try to trust others to help carry the burdens he was shouldering, would things have gone a lot differently? Like, it really is kind of one of those episodes that really like shines a perspective light on Ace as a character, honestly. And yeah, I love the whole conversation Tama has with Nami and Usopp, because while she's beating herself up over how she treated Luffy after he told her about Ace, they're basically like reassuring her that there's no ill will, and everything he's doing for her because that's what Ace would do. And they're right. Like, if anyone knows the kind of things Luffy does, how he acts, how he reacts, and just what motivates him to do something, it would be them. And just like if anyone's gonna know who Luffy is, it's gonna be his crewmates, especially Nami and Usopp. And just like Ace, Luffy is carrying Tama's burden for her, so he has no reason to hate her. And again, I just love Nami and Usopp reassuring her. It's always very sweet, but it plays out so naturally because of how well they know Luffy. Of course, we also get a small scene between Yamato and Momonosuke, which, in context of the manga, man, do I feel stupid. Like, after this moment, I think I remember coming up with so many crazy ass theories, but the answers were staring me point blank in the face. It's one of those things where, in retrospect, I really should have known what it is they were talking about. But aside from that, we also, the end of the episode, we also learned that Big Mom is the one who gave Kaido his devil fruit after the fall of the Rocks Pirates. And yeah, I'd really like to know what that conversation looked like, because Big Mom must know something we don't, for her to not only hold that much sway over Kaido's head, but to say with absolute certainty that he's in debt to her. Like, what's the story there? That's kind of the one thing I want to know more than anything else. But all that said, one peculiar detail I particularly liked in this episode is a lot of the Beast Pirates' hesitation to follow Queen's orders, while also showing Chopper reaching the point of developing the anti-serum, which, yeah, the latter was definitely stretched out a bit too much to my liking, like throughout this entire arc, not just in this episode. But one thing I like about seeing these two scenes together is it shows Queen's cruelty kind of coming back to bite him in the ass a little bit, just from seeing that initial hesitation of the Beast Pirates, understanding that just how horrible the options sound right now. And once again, it just makes me wonder of what Kaido's whole mindset was in recruiting Queen, because again, I'm not trying to legitimize Kaido or say that he's like a saint or anything, but it's like, I want to know what the circumstances were that caused Kaido to actually recruit Queen into his crew, because the one thing I'm having trouble understanding about why he would be able to condone the kind of shit Queen does is that, like, pirate or not, Kaido does have a certain degree of honor, and for as much of a bastard as he is, for as cruel as he is, he does still maintain that honor, twisted as it may be. And I have a hard time envisioning the circumstances of how someone like Queen would be considered by Kaido as a legitimate choice to join his crew. Like, something just doesn't add up to me in that regard. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much all I got for this review. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Analyst Crunchyroll. Be sure to notification bell, hit the subscribe button, and just share the video around, guys. Dark Knight of May, signing off. Later, everyone.